Welcome to another science exploration. Today we are going to explore about the moons in the solar system. How many moons each planet has? Why are there more moons in the outer planets than inner planets near the sun? And some interesting facts about the moons in each planet. Before we blast off, we gotta ask, right? What exactly a moon? Well, simply put, a moon is just a natural object that revolves or orbits around a planet. You know, we usually just think of our own moon lighting up the night sky, but get this, scientists have actually discovered more than 400 moons orbiting the planets in our solar system. Over 400. And most of these belong to the giant outer planets. So strap in, because our solar system space safari has a lot of ground to cover. All right, let's dive right in. We're starting at the closest planet to the sun, which is Mercury. Now, if you were standing on Mercury and looking up into the night sky, you wouldn't see a single moon. That's right, Mercury has absolutely zero moons. None.
So why is that? Well, Mercury is a pretty small planet, and it sits incredibly close to the Sun. In the Sun, it has massive, super strong gravity. Because Mercury's own gravity just isn't very strong, if a little moon even tried to orbit it, the Sun's massive gravity would easily overpower Mercury and just steal that moon right away.
Moving on out to the second planet from the sun, we arrive at Venus. Now, Venus is actually really similar in size to our own Earth, but when we check its moon count, we find another big zero.
But here's what's incredibly mysterious about Venus. Scientists actually believe it might have had a moon a long time ago, but somehow it just lost it into space. And adding to the whole mystery of Venus, it's also a planet that rotates completely backwards compared to most of the other planets. Plus, its spin is so slow that a single day on Venus is actually longer than a whole year on Venus. I mean, how wild is that?
Okay, next stop on our safari is the third rock from the sun. Yep, our home sweet home Earth. And unlike Mercury and Venus, Earth holds on to exactly one natural satellite.
Our beautiful moon is about 3,475 kilometers wide, which actually makes it the fifth largest moon in the entire solar system. And even though it's much smaller than Earth, its gravity is strong enough to pull on Earth's oceans. That's what creates our amazing daily ocean tides. And of course, the moon is super famous because it's the only spot beyond Earth where humans have ever stepped foot, first landing way back in 1969.
Leaving Earth behind, our final rocky inner planet is the red planet Mars. Now, Mars is smaller than Earth, but it's managed to capture two little moons named Phobos and Deimos.
And when I say little, I mean these moons are tiny compared to ours. The incredibly small moon Phobos is only about 22 kilometers wide, basically the size of a city. But here's something fascinating and maybe a little bit scary. Phobos is actually slowly moving closer and closer to Mars. Scientists believe that in the very distant future, Phobos might crash right into the planet. Or the planet's gravity might stretch it so much that it breaks apart into a million pieces, which might even give Mars a ring. How cool would that be?
Okay, so let's do the math. The inner rocky planets only have 3 moons combined. But as we cross over the asteroid belt and head into the freezing cold outer solar system, the moon counts suddenly explode into the hundreds. But why? Why do these outer planets win the moon race so easily? Well, the crucial point here is that giant gas planets like Jupiter and Saturn are absolutely massive. Just to picture it, Jupiter is about 11 times wider than Earth, and Saturn is 9 times wider. Because they are so incredibly huge, they have much stronger gravity. I want you to think of their strong gravity like giant invisible nets stretching super far out into space. These massive gravitational nets easily capture passing asteroids and just gather up all the massive amounts of cold rock, ice, and gas that were floating around when the solar system first formed.
So that brings us to our first gas giant, Jupiter, which boasts a massive collection of over 100 known moons. Over 100! It's practically its own mini solar system out there.
And Jupiter's moons are absolutely amazing. Take Ganymede, for example. At 5,268 kilometers wide, Ganymede is the largest moon in the solar system. It's actually bigger than the entire planet Mercury. Plus, it is the only moon we know of that has its own magnetic shield. And then there's nearby Europa. Underneath its freezing icy surface, scientists believe Europa hides a huge, deep ocean of liquid water. That makes it a really exciting place to look for alien life. Next up is the ultimate champion of our solar system's moon race, Saturn. Right now, Saturn holds the record with nearly 300 known moons hiding in and around its beautiful, famous rings.
Saturn's giant moon Titan is just spectacular. It has a thick atmosphere almost like Earth's, and it actually features flowing rivers, massive lakes, and seas. But instead of water, they're filled with liquid methane. Then there's the tiny, icy moon Enceladus. This little moon literally shoots giant geysers of water and ice straight out into space from an ocean hidden deep underground. All right, let's bundle up and move further out into the cold to visit the freezing ice giants, starting with Uranus, which has 29 known moons discovered so far.
Now, Uranus is a very strange planet because it rotates completely knocked over on its side. It's like it's rolling around the sun. Because of this sideways tilt, its moons, which, by the way, are wonderfully named after characters from William Shakespeare plays, have very unusual extreme seasons. These moons are full of incredible sights. We're talking about things like the moon Titania's enormous deep canyons and the moon Miranda, which boasts some of the most gigantic, terrifyingly tall cliffs in the whole solar system.
Our final planet on this awesome space safari is the windy, blue ice giant Neptune, which is home to 16 fascinating moons.
Neptune's largest moon is named Triton, and let me tell you, it is a total rebel. Triton actually orbits backwards. It spins in the exact opposite direction of Neptune's rotation. Because of this backwards orbit, scientists believe Triton wasn't actually formed with Neptune. Instead, it was likely just a passing space rock from the distant Kuiper belt that got captured by Neptune's strong gravity. Triton is freezing cold, but get this, it has active ice volcanoes that erupt freezing nitrogen gas high into the sky. So with so many amazing moons out there, from tiny captured rocks to giant worlds with hidden oceans, you might be wondering, have we finished counting them all? Is the moon race finally over?
The answer is absolutely no. Astronomers are always looking deep into the dark space around these giant planets using incredibly powerful new telescopes. Because of this, they are constantly discovering small, faint new moons. This means the total moon counts, especially for gas giants like Saturn and Jupiter, are constantly changing and increasing. What you read in a science book today might be completely different next year.
To summarize, our solar system is filled with over 400 incredible moons, but they definitely aren't shared equally. The massive outer planets have hundreds more moons because their huge size gives them incredibly strong gravity. This strong gravity creates huge spheres of influence that easily capture and hold on to the abundant rock and ice around them. Meanwhile, small, inner rocky planets like Earth and Mercury just don't have the size or the safe distance from the Sun to do the same. With so many bizarre and amazing moons out there, if you could take a spaceship to visit just one, which would it be? If you find the video informative, please like the video. Thanks.